Do it halfway through. It's not easy being everything.
I thought I did two on Zoom this morning, one
I've
child
done a lot
last
of
week.
Zooms. Okay. Okay, we are live, and this is People of the State of Michigan versus Curtis Brown, docket number 19-769FH. This is the time set for sentencing, and before I go any further, Mr. Brown, will you please confirm for me it's okay with you that we're doing this by video from the jail instead of bringing you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, you were convicted of delivery or manufacture of methamphetamine. That is a felony punishable by up to 10 or 20 years in prison. And you have the right to an attorney. You are represented by Mr. Blackman. And Mr. Blackman, have you had a chance to go through the pre-sentence report with your client?
I have, Your Honor. I talked with him on the phone in reference to that. I sent him a copy of it, and then we did, but everything seems to be accurate.
Okay. Mr. Brown, can you hear your lawyer when he talks?
Yes, I can, ma'am.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. All right, so do you have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the report, Mr. Blackman?
I do not, Your Honor.
And any objection to the scoring of the guidelines?
No, Your Honor.
Did the people have any corrections to the report or objections to scoring?
No, Your Honor.
And did the people wish to be heard?
Only, Your Honor, we did agree to a Killebrew agreement. Even when I made it, I knew it was below guidelines based on the fact that this is a really high on the sentencing guidelines grid, the offense itself. I understand the defendant having absconded, he would have created an issue where the court now does not have to agree or abide by the Killebrew agreement. I'm not asking the court to go above it at this time. That's not something that people are asking. I still think 36 months in the Michigan Department of Corrections with the fact that he has no credit for that is still a fair sentence. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Blackman?
Your Honor, I would agree. He's been, when they did pick him up, he's been sitting for a number of days dead time right now, so I'm asking the court to adopt our Killebrew agreement, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Brown, anything that you wanted to say?
Honestly, I mean, being incarcerated, there is programs in there, but it's not the adequate help I feel that I need. I feel that I do need rehabilitation. I do have an addiction problem. I've tried the programs in there, you know, in MDOC, and it's just, that's putting me around the criminal element, and it's a very negative place to be. I need a positive support. I have a very positive family, and they are very, very, very supportive of me getting help. I would like to ask the courts to honestly put it into you to help me. I mean, I need help with my addiction, and me being in a negative place is not gonna help me. It's not, it hasn't in the past. I've never been given the adequate help for my problem. I've heard of a few programs. I've heard of the program Rise, and then there's the Holden House. There's multiple places that can help with positive influence. I understand that I did what I did. I was in the wrong. I did go out and I was using methamphetamine. I am here to, you know, pay for my consequences, pay for what I've done. But I feel that I need help with my addiction.
All right, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Brown, I don't prefer to put people in prison when the underlying problem is substance abuse disorder or substance use disorder. But you have to understand a couple of things here. First of all, the prosecutor's very graciously given you a Killebrew agreement that is far below the sentencing guidelines. The lowest sentence I could give you under the sentencing guidelines would be a minimum of 51 months in prison. And even though you failed to appear for sentencing, she has graciously further agreed that she's not going to ask me to go above the Killebrew agreement. So you've gotten a lot of breaks here. You also
Yes,
need to understand that any program that you go into is not going to be effective for you if you go in with the mindset of, this is not going to do any good for me. Do you understand that?
yes, I do, ma'am.
So, you know, it's just, you're your own worst enemy when you say there's programs in prison, but it won't work for me. And I would suggest to you the first thing that you have to change is your thinking. Because, you know, that's what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you think it won't work, you're guaranteeing it won't work. So if you really want to do something about this, change how you think about it. If you change how you think about it, it'll change the outcome. And I promise you that. And that's something that they will teach you at any program you go to. Change how you think about it, and it'll change how you act, and it'll change the outcome. They would teach you that if you went to RISE. They would teach you that if you went to the House of Commons. They would teach you that any place you went. So that's really what you need to learn. And the rest will follow. I am ordering you to pay $130 to the Crime Victims Fund, $68 in state costs. Costs to the county in the amount of $500 based on the State Court Administrative Office calculated average cost for criminal case in Ingham County. And you are committed to the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections for a period not less than 36 months, nor more than 240 months, 0 credit because of your parole status, and that also runs consecutive to any sentence that you are serving on your parole sentence. And Mr. Brown, you have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and your sentence in this matter. You're entitled to an attorney at public expense to assist you in doing that. If you're making a request for one, you have to make it within 42 days of today's date. The most important thing is that the time period starts running from today. Now, I would normally hand you a form that tells more about that. Considering the circumstances, we will mail you the form, make sure that you get it. Okay, and if you have no questions or anything, that will conclude our hearing.
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, good luck. And you can let them know at the jail that you're all set.
Okay.
Thank you.